All right, now we're back to talk about trimming up this tomato plant, but not as a garden vegetable plant, but more as a cannabis plant. So if this plant was pruned properly throughout its life, it probably wouldn't even look like this. It would have an even canopy. You wouldn't have dramatic differences in some of these main stalks. Notice the height differences. This should all be relatively even. With it not being even, higher parts of the plant are going to inherently get much more light than these lower parts of the plant. So gardeners will normally do two main styles of trimming. You've got the pruning or trimming. I kind of use those interchangeably. It's not really exactly interchangeable. Trimming, we're removing stuff that doesn't need to be there. Pruning, we're kind of managing how the plant is growing. So if this had been pruned properly, the canopy would be even. The two styles that I was referring to earlier are going to be topping, where you would literally take your clean, sterile scalpel and cut the top off of the main branches. By topping it, you're going to force more lateral growth versus vertical growth. So your plants are much wider than they are tall. Another standard form of trimming is lollipopping, where you're going to trim off most of the branches. Some people even take off the bottom 2/3 of the entire plant to leave just the top third. And then they'll take each individual branch and trim almost everything off of there except just a few flowering sites. So, for example, if I wanted to lollipop this particular plant, I would come through, there would be a flowering site here, a flowering site here, and I would trim any other potential flowering sites off. So the branches would end up kind of looking like this. So now we've cut off all of the, we still got some down low. If we don't trim those will be flowering sites. Now that flowering site may grow back again. You might have to trim it up again. So that's what a branch would potentially look like that's been lollipopped with just a few flowering sites left. All of the energy that this plant is generating now gets sent to just a couple flowering sites versus a bunch of flowering sites all up and down this branch. Now we would do something like that to each one of these branches if it were cannabis. So we could we'll take this other main stalk. We look at it. There's a lot of stuff growing on here. So let's come down, cut off that branch. Cut off that branch. We look in here, you can kind of see where the tomato plant's been rubbing against the stake, causing it to harden off some. Here we've got a branch, oops, sorry about that, guys. Can't see, got a branch that doesn't need to be there, take that off. We go up a little bit higher. So 1 node, 2 nodes, 3 nodes, 4 nodes, 5 nodes. That would be wonderful if we could get all 5 of those flowering sites to connect to make one big